We never use those terms like don't rise up too high, you can get killed. In North Korea, there is such a thing. If you rise up too high, your life is never guaranteed. Of course, I just can't imagine as a high official when you go to work, you might not know that might be the last day on earth for me. That is how vulnerable the elites in North Korea under Kim Jong-un is. This is quite frightening. It's not because I'm trying to alarm you. The biggest danger with North Korea is that if we do not stop right now, we may never be able to stop him. The regime, the government making them ignorant on purpose so they cannot stop rebel and fighting for their rights. Happy New Year, my loves! I am back. I'm so glad to be back. So as I always do, today I will also talk about North Korea. I will actually brought some shocking data that can give you a clear idea what is happening inside the Hermit Kingdom. So this first data is showing North Korea's roads are pretty bad. North Korea has 97% unpaved roads. And look at South Korea, they got 92% of roads in South Korea are paved. North Korea has only 3% of paved roads, but I promise you that even that 3% is pretty horrible. The roads condition in North Korea is unimaginable, and South Korea is really so fabulously good. North Korea and South Korea had the same history for thousands of years, and the different system created these two different new realities, and this is still going on. This number 2 data. As I always said to you guys that before, if I were born in America or South Korea, I could have become a model, but I'm too short to do that. South Koreans, on average, is like about 3 inches taller than North Koreans. But the thing is that it is only among young generations, it's a bigger difference. My mom's generation had a list of facts from malnutrition because when she was born, when she was a child, still there were a lot of AIDS coming from Soviet Union. But when I was born, almost 1994, I was born at the end of 1993, that is like after Soviet Union collapsed. So that's when North Korean people didn't even hear the word public distribution, and millions died from starvation. Younger generation of North Koreans are shorter than our parents' generation, and our height on average just keep going down and down. Right now, like even I'm like less than 5'2", but I meet tons of North Korean men who escaped are shorter than me. So among North Koreans, I'm actually not considered to be that short. This data shows number 3 shows the difference between dynasty and democracy. Last during the 75 years time, North Korea had only 3 rulers from the same family, from the Kim family. South Korea had 12 different presidents. In democracy, they would pick whoever who is the most competent to rule the country. However, in North Korea, the bloodline, that is what determines who becomes the leader of the country. By this birth status is affecting still millions of North Koreans every single day. What family you born into, which bloodline you get into, that determines every North Korean's future and even their like chance to survive from starvation and disease. This is a Kim family tree. Kim Il-sung obviously had lots of wives, and Kim Jong-il, each Kim had lots of wives and lots of children. But Kim Il-sung gave the son to Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-il was the first son of Kim Il-sung. And then Kim Jong-un got the power from his father, but Kim Jong-un was not a first son. That is why Kim Jong-un killed his half-brother Kim Jong-nam, because he was threatened by him. In North Korean King Dynasty, usually the first sons are the legitimate heir. but Kim Jong-un is coming from third wife, and he's also second son from that wife. And I think that's why Kim Jong-un is way more paranoid than even his his father or his grandfather. This data shows that Kim Jong-un's purge and launch. He each year took these drastic steps to purge high-ranking officials. There's a saying in North Korea, the best position you can be in is actually don't go too close to the sun, or don't stay too far from the sun, right? If you go too close, you're gonna burn to death. If you stay too far, you're gonna frozen to death. And these figures we see, these people were actually stay too close to the sun, and that's how they died. It is definitely North Korean expression. We never use those terms like don't rise up too high, you can get killed. In North Korea, there is such a thing. If you rise up too high, your life is never guaranteed. Of course, people in the bottom, there is always chance of dying from starvation every day. But also on the top, their life is also not guaranteed because they have no clue when they can get purged. So some of these officials who got purged is unbelievable. Some of them were accused being anti-revolutionary, and some of them just merely not clapping hard enough when Kim Jong-un was on the stage, or not paying attention enough during the meeting with Kim Jong-un, or someone was falling kind of asleep and then they got purged. I just can't imagine as a high official when you go to work, you might not know that might be the last day on earth for me. That is how vulnerable the elites in North Korea under Kim Jong-un is. This is the missile test that each Kim did, and as you can see, North Korea did their first missile test under Kim Il-sung in 1984, pretty early on. And he had some success, but not as good. He was definitely trying more to become a nuclear power. But when it goes to Kim Jong-il, the second son, he did a massive more testing. And then look at now under Kim Jong-un, guys. This is quite frightening. It's not because I'm trying to alarm you. The biggest danger with North Korea is that if we do not stop right now, we may never be able to stop him. And the thing is, you guys all cannot say, right? Oh yeah, people in North Korea are oppressed, they're starved. What's my problem? It doesn't affect me, so why do I need to care? We can say that. But when North Korea has the way more powerful weapons to destroy all of us, then it's gonna affect our children and ourselves. I think this is the thing what we are doing with North Korea. We are playing with the fire. This is gambling. It is the dictator, this monster. All he wants is his power and his own greed. That's what it is. And when we let him just too big to fail and become CCP in China, that is a problem. How do we stop it? Then we have to take every kind of abuse from this dictator, and the world is never gonna be a safe place. I think as a humans, as a free person, it is our responsibility to make the world freer and better than before. That is every human's responsibility when we are born in this earth. And this is why we have to care about North Korea. It's just not only about North Koreans are oppressed. North Korea can possibly be a threat to whole humanity someday. And that is why we have to raise our voice, telling our politicians and governments to act and stop this dictator before it's too late. Imagine, guys, we don't definitely want to be, having a Kim Jong-un's haircut and look like him. As I have told you, right? North Korean men have to get the same haircut like Kim Jong-un. They even the regime decides what kind of haircut can men have or women can have. That's not the world that we want to living in. This is all data I think showed in my previous videos about information getting in North Korea, and I just want to show you if you haven't seen that video. 71% of the people in North Korea, they get the news through the word of mouth. That is it. They don't look at New York Times or CNN or YouTube. That is not their news. This is how ancient and how backwards North Korea. This is how people get ignorant on purpose. The regime, the government making them ignorant on purpose so they cannot stop rebel and fighting for their rights. And most of North Koreans do not know what is going on in the world. I never even seen the map of the world when I was in North Korea. So this is still the true reality for most of North Koreans, that they live in a different planet. This data shows the GDP per capita in North Korea. Right, the world, people still saying like, oh, there's so much poverty, things are difficult in this world. Yes, but in general, things gotten better for probably all of us on this earth. This prosperity coming from market and trade, it really lifted us so much from poverty line. But look at North Koreans. Since 1950, North Korea's economy is just so going down. Their life is struggle is like before the Korean War, 1950s, and their GDP per capita is going down and down. Look at South Korea. It's going like high rocket, like going up like that. And China is still like rising, but North Korea is going down. So when people are saying like, oh, under Kim Jong-un things looks better, like Kim Jong-un is building ski resorts, water parks in Pyongyang, and these tourists go to North Korea say, oh, North Korea was so much modern than I thought. But that was a Disney World they went in, that the movie set Kim Jong-un made for them to see. The general population, their lifespan is getting shorter than even people lived in the 50s, and the poverty is going down than ever before. This is the truth. This is what is happening to my people. This is another data shows, as I said before, medical doctor guys in North Korea makes $1 per month, the government salary. So without corruption, they can never survive. They cannot put a bare minimum food to survive. So there's like $30 to $40 is a monthly salary through other, bribery, other things that North Koreans need to get to survive in North Korea. $30 to $40. When I was being sold in China as a sexual slave, my price was less than $300. And I have this iPhone in my phone. This was more expensive than me. And this is what North Koreans too. Like the monthly salary is like $30 to $40. But the TV, the just common TV we go in Target and buy, is like $1,300, over $1,300. How many years should a North Korean work to buy a TV? This is how hard life is. This person gotta work like more than 30, 40 years. Lifetime they gotta get a TV. Like people here in America tell me that, oh, American dream is owning a home. But what a dream that is. Like North Koreans, all their life they work like slaves and still cannot own a TV. However, though, the regime sends about 150,000 North Korean slave workers to abroad. So these slaves make money for the regime, and they bring annually $900 million to the regime, to Kim Jong-un's pocket. This slave labor is everywhere, in Qatar, in Europe, in China, Russia, literally everywhere. These North Korean slave workers forced to go and work there. They don't get paid like bare minimum, and all this cash is going into Kim Jong-un's pocket to build more missiles to kill humanity, and also building, spending on his pleasure squad and building resort and for his greediness. This one is, even the people say, oh, North Korea, there are 3 million of cell phones. But look at South Korea. There are like 50, almost 9 million cell phones in South Korea. This is like phone subscription, and still like barely, not many people still having phones. But the thing is that the North Korean phones, despite having one in 4 maybe, that they do not have internet. They still do not connect to the rest of the world. They have something called intranet. Within North Korea, people can have some Bluetooth, send text, but everything is tapped, everything is being heard by the regime. So this even phone is not liberating North Koreans in any possible sense. And so I really hope that, guys, this data that I showed you today gave you some ideas what is going on in North Korea, in my homeland, and help you to understand why that we need to be aware what is going on in the world, and also use our voice to speak up and guard our freedom, so the dictators cannot take it away from us. I'm so always grateful for your support and love for me and for this channel. I look forward to growing with you this year, and also growing this channel and raising our voice together for the better world. Thank you, guys, and I look forward to seeing you all very next time. Bye!